I'm here in Delhi, India, covering the globalist alphabet soup, if you will, the WHO, World Health Organization's FCTC, the Framework Convention on Tobacco Control. Honestly, I'm really upset. I'm totally frustrated. And if you are anything like me, your blood is going to boil when I show you what my crew and I experienced today. But first, some background. On the first day of this convention, on Monday, we were banned from the duration of this convention, even though we spent thousands of dollars to fly some 14 hours to get here, to cover what was going on behind closed doors with your tax dollars. All 180 or so parties, the countries that are here and represented, voted unanimously to kick the international media outside of their little meeting. Well, it's gotten so bad that they've actually taken to physically removing journalists from the convention, those that dare to protest, whose only crime is to be a journalist at a United Nations legislative body's little party. Now, I tried to talk to the Canadian delegation, the people who you didn't elect, but whose tickets and hotel rooms you're actually paying for. I was ignored, and whole of my emails, despite promises to be answered, I'm still waiting on hearing back. So we're not allowed inside the convention. No one's answering our questions around the convention. So I figure, let's just play by the party's rules. We'll attend the 2 press conferences a day. 2 press conferences, you're probably thinking, that should be more than enough. This is what they gave us. And every single time we ask a question, they point us back to these documents. Most of which, by the way, I have read. Most of which, by the way, contain precious little when it comes to actual information. Every single time that we ask for further clarification, they just point us back to the documents and say, haven't you read them? Well, yeah, I have. But all it is a shroud of legalese and useless information, frankly, that is just shrouding what is actually going on behind closed doors. And when we ask for further clarification, this is the sort of response we receive.
Nobody's talking to you. I may have for yourselves. I don't think any of your questions are unique.
So, suffice to say, we haven't been making any traction on the ground. So we decided to call back home and see if there was something we could do over there that would help us over here. And so we thought we found a solution. We would make our complaint official. We had our media lawyers draft a letter to Canada's Minister of Health, Jane Philpott. The woman responsible for sending all these unelected people all the way to India on your dime. All we did was formalize our complaint, remind the minister of the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, as well as the United Nations Declaration of Human Rights, all of which afford us freedoms of the press, freedoms of opinion, and freedoms of expression. We also sent a letter to the FCTC Secretariat. Again, just a way of formalizing our complaint. In that letter, we reminded the FCTC of the World Health Organization's objective of engaging the public at large. Now, you don't need to have a law degree to realize that these letters, both of which, by the way, are posted in full at therebel.media, there's no threat of lawsuit. There's no threat of legal action. All it is a formality, a way of saying, we're upset, we don't like the way things are going, and by the way, these are your duties and obligations and our rights and freedoms. Well, this is the response we got.
If you're going to start bringing in solicitors and lawyers and advocates, it gets a bit sort of like formal then, doesn't it? Because then we'll say, your lawyers talk to our lawyers, and that's the end of our beautiful relationship, you know what I mean? Because we can't have 2 relationships running. Sure, okay. Sorry. We can't have an open and frank discussions and interviews and everything whilst we've got a legal notice in the office. I need to check with our legal team on it. They've been working all day, but they'll have a look at it this evening.
Okay, that's not really how I see it. I see it as them sorting that out while we continue at our press briefings, which is what we're allowed to do.
Any solicitor's letter I've got in in my business in journalism, it's generally, okay, great, let's all see each other in court then.
I'm sorry, see you in court? Believe me, if such a court existed to which someone could bring you and actually hold you accountable, I would be the first one in line. Regrettably, no such court exists. And it's for that very reason that I dare to say that the WHO, the FCTC, and frankly the entire United Nations are perfectly unaccountable bodies of government. And as for our beautiful relationship, consider us broken up. Folks, I traveled all the way to India in hopes of bringing you some transparency as to what the heck was going on with your tax dollars in faraway and exotic government cabals. Instead, what I got was bureaucratic bans and censorship. I hoped to come here to discredit all sorts of conspiracy theories about globalism and the evils and, the secret cabals of what's going on. Instead, I learned pretty quickly, it's not conspiracy theory, it's conspiracy fact. For the Rebel.media, I'm Faith Goldie. Like what you just saw? Watch all of my videos by subscribing to our YouTube channel below.